One of the fun things about collecting is changing your collection periodically. I've seen that through the years with several of my customers. One of my customers, Tim, out of Colorado Springs, started as collecting 50s goods. However, once he met us about 3 years ago and started seeing the genre that we sell, which is primarily from the 1800s to about 1940s, immediately he got the bug and he started buying stuff from us, as well as he started trading in a lot of his 50s stuff. So today he has built himself an outstanding game room from the periods of about the turn of the century to 1940. Well, wait till you see what he's done.
Married 43 years, 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 great grandkids. One's 5 and one's 2. Well, for years, my dad was a pretty ordinary guy. He worked in a grocery store, and he'd buy a lotto ticket every week, and he'd say, when I win the lottery, what I'm going to do is buy some acreage, and I'm going to give enough money to each of my 5 children, and they're going to build houses out there. Now, he thought that was a pretty good idea, but I'm not sure all of us thought that it would be that good of an idea to be living that close. But anyway, that was his dream. Never happened, and when we got lucky enough to sell our business, we bought 88 acres right outside of Denver, Colorado, and we decided to name it Morrisseyville. Started with 88 acres of ground. We had our 1950s little gas station. That's where all the cars were parked. At one point we had 22 muscle cars. Had a cigar shack out in the woods, little log cabin. It was a lot of fun. Had a water wheel that we built. At the time I thought it'd be cool to have a couple old fire trucks, and they were fun, but then we had to have a place to put them, so we built a gymnasium and tried to make it look like an old armory back in the day. Kept the fire trucks there, and then we'd pull them out, and that's where we'd play our basketball games. And I sat behind a desk for 25 years, and I decided when I had the opportunity to retire that I was going to learn to do something, and went through a period of working with builders and building buildings. Then that evolved into I got to put something in the building, so primarily it was 50s. That's what I got started on, lots of 50s machines, and it's finding the stuff. I've kind of gotten out. When I started with the 50 stuff, I decided I'd restore the stuff myself, and that evolved several years ago. In fact, after I met you and Jim Schafer, it evolved and no, I want to do the cast iron. I want to get back to the turn of the century stuff. And it's heavy. It doesn't matter, cash register. They built good stuff back then. And so I don't do as much piddling with the machines anymore. And I guess I like to just sit back and look at them. Never had a big desire to show any of my stuff. It's just something that we get satisfaction out of. It's all pretty neat stuff. And as I looked through it, I found myself, as much as looking at the items you were doing your videos on, I was trying to see as much as I could of the background of your showroom. And it was quite impressive, and I thought, I can make that happen. And what a cool place that'll be just to sit around, and if I smoke a cigar or two, it just seemed like what I wanted to happen. So, as you know, that's turned into a real project over the last several years of getting rid of my 50 stuff and turning everything into as much as I can. I wanted to have the feel of an old bordello, and that lasted long enough until Diana, my wife, heard that that's what I was designing. And she said, you can decorate any way you want to decorate, but we're not going to call it that. So I don't know what we call it. It's a few of my favorite things. I want the club look. I guess that's the old world. Probably my favorite 2 machines is match machines. The old match machines just intrigue me, as well as the trade stimulators. They're just neat. Well, everything I know I learned from Jim, and that's a pretty sorry statement. But I'll say this, and I guess this is a plug for you guys, but I mean it, is my advice would be make sure you know what you want to do, because I literally spent tens of thousands of dollars buying things thinking, this is what I want. But I learned very quickly it's easier to buy them from you guys. And the one thing that you do is everything comes out perfect. And it was a hard lesson to learn because it sure seemed easy to buy something and say, I can make that look with like Schafer stuff, and I couldn't. So that evolved. I got rid of all that stuff, and I primarily buy the stuff from you. The best thing that I always can say is that I like things that are old and in great shape. And like I said, I've been married 42 years.